one is known in that other town. Those are called sexual adaptations. The second one now, people are moving to masturbation. And I'll talk about it without spectacles on my eyes or stanners. It's a real issue. And there are more than 66 million pornographic sites in the world. And Kenya has a population of 47 million. So everyone can have their own pornographic site independently. And we still donate some to Botswana. That is how serious the matter is. But you need to understand what happens when I go to my phone and I go to a pornographic site. It is different from an old grandmother who raised an altar and I'm now a victim of witches. It is easier for me to close that door that was opened by my grandmother. And I'm about to explain a few things. And it is very hard to deal with a door that I myself opened. Now, in Greek, there is a demon in charge of sexual perversion and promiscuity. And in your time, you can Google. That demon is called Asmodeus. Of course, demons don't have gender. It is neither male nor female. And allow me to be real also with you, because we said when you preach, what do? You open the Bible. When you disciple, you open your life. I was introduced to pornography when I was in class 4. A very young boy, but very tall. So because of my height, I never lived my age. So in class 4, I discovered, wow, there are guys going to the dining hall, and it looks like there was a movie they were watching. So one day I decided to remain. And guess what? This was a team of class 7, class 8 watching porn. I was in a boarding school. And I became a member. Those were the days of tapes. And then back at home, there were these movie dens. Simnazijua, zakina DJ Afro. And they used to have a coded language, and they used to show porn from 10. These are movie den. And they will write there, WWF, wrestling. And I tell you, it was a real wrestling. And the prices were very high. So I was initiated in high school. All I needed to do was WWF. Then my dad gave me an old TV. And so we used to wait for my dad to sleep so that we can get the deck. You guys are days of Bluetooth and home theaters. There was something that was called a deck. And then now, what I used to do with this guy was I will go and hire the tape and then put it. And then we graduated, we came to the DVD era. And then we'll buy DVDs and put them in the house. And the thing graduated. I got born again 2005. But I was still bound. You know those things you tell God, Mungu ukiniondolea hii, mimi naona nikiamsha kiwete. Because this was the only thing that was hindering my relationship with God. And one day I went for a meeting like this one, and the man of God preached powerfully. And he prayed for us. And I got enough grace to go and dispose 4 DVDs. And then I was left with 1. And I tell you, that one DVD opened a door. It was serious. Because every day was my last day of watching. It sounds familiar. I'm happy I have a real church. So every day I will come and say, Leo kwanza nitawatch 11:50 mpaka 11:59. Ndio tukifika 12, kesho naanza fresh. Mambo mbaya. And I tell you, that struggle stayed for almost an year. And every day was the last day. Sometimes I will just come and say, you know what, I've just messed up this month. Let me wait for next month. And I will wait for the first day. And then on the first day, then mess up. Until the day I got enough strength to take the DVD and broke it. I remember we used to have zile show Choza Ocha. There's a show Choza Ocha. Atia. Bwana asifiwe. And I remember that was the beginning of my deliverance. And later, when I was doing my research concerning the whole thing about masturbation, pornography, I remember there was one character in the tapes I used to watch who had a certain tattoo. And that tattoo was the same image of this Asmodeus spirit. And immediately I knew some of these pornographic content are manufactured in hell so that they can release a spirit of lust. Are we together? Now, people that watch pornography, they are either sexually active, perverts, and struggling with lust. Masturbation becomes an obvious thing. Now I discovered at that level, when I open my phone, I am the one who went to Asmodeus. Asmodeus was not released. And in that language, you are creating something we call a demon that dwells in you legally. There is a difference between a demonic attack and a legal demon. And that is why no amount of external prayer can deliver you. Because the demon is resident legally. Your deliverance is a product of partnership. Whereby you say, I want to be delivered. And then we pray for you, but you go back and act. Prayer, there is a level where prayer breaks the yoke, but there is a level where prayer empowers you for action. Are you getting it? And when we are dealing with lust, now what is lust? Lust is a legal appetite because the sexual desires came from God. God is the one who created the desire. I remember a young man came to me and told me, Pasi, na unajua alikuwa chini ya maji. Jua alikuja altar call akaona mimi sitaki kuombea maombi wholesale. Mi issue yangu lazima ikuwe specific. Akamwambia aje mzito poa. Mimi mazee Pasi kuna venye. Kamuuliza ni aje. Akamwambia mazee mimi tu kaniombea. Niachange kuanga na hii taki. Mimi nimepona. Kamuuliza taki gani ya mademba na ndo ananimada mtu wangu. So nikamuuliza unadai aje? Mimi tu ni prayer nitulie baba nisimame. Nikaona baadaye ni maombi serious. Nikamwambia unajua mtu akiumwa na kichwa si uwekelea mikono kwa kichwa. Bwana asifiwe. So nikamuuliza hii prayer unaonaje? Wewe una imagine kuna time nabii alifunga mbingu na kukakataa kunyesha. Nikafunga mbingu mtu wangu. Alafu ni umere tu Mungu tu anichukue. Na uende honeymoon na mbingu imefungwa. Unajua itakuwa noma. Nikamwambia hii desire ni ya God. Ile kitu unafaa kudu ni control. Now the question inakuanga, how do I control myself? Na by the church tumewadanganya, oh when you feel it, take a cold shower. This is not a hygiene issue.
In the mix.
Are we together? It is not a hygiene because some of you are in Limuru. This is the coldest area. So this has to do with spiritual hygiene. You need the water in your head, not on your head. The water of the word. A renewed mind. I'll be real with you. How do you survive on a swimming pool? Because at that level, something in you tells you, this is the costume for swimming. Sini ukweli? It is not about the temperature of the water. Tusidanganyane. It is a mindset that tells you, here people dress like this. And so you cannot react. Meaning that what you need, but then the greatest and the biggest sexual organ is your mind. If you can deal with that, you are sorted. So let's come to this Asmodeus spirit. So you go, you watch. It gets a legal ground. And that's why there are people who will come and tell me, Pasini meombewa. The question is, are you willing to be delivered? Because in this level, prayer will give you the strength to act. But prayer will not act for you. So there are people who wait. We anoint them and pray for them. Anytime you are talking about a bondage, it is when now there is a lot of spiritual entanglement. But when you are talking about self sent to the territory of the enemy, this one you have to deliver yourself. You have to deliver yourself, literally. And the solution is not very far from the Bible. Paul says, crucify your flesh daily. As long as you are in the flesh, you must know the language of crucifying it. No shortcut. Are we together? So majority of the people that go to pornographic sites, you are entering the territory of demons. And at that level, those demons have power to use you, abuse you, and plant all manner of ideas in your head. And this one now has manufactured a lot of people.